Greetings, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen. The purpose of this video in particular is to introduce a concept that almost nobody talks about. And how could they talk about it if they don't know about it? And how would they know about it if nobody tells them? Schools don't teach this. Your parents probably didn't teach you this. My parents didn't teach me this. And their parents didn't teach them. The news don't teach this. Mainstream media don't teach this. The government ain't gonna teach it. So how would anybody know? People oftentimes outsource their parenting to strangers. They send them to school. I'm not saying that you're like that, but many people are like this. They send their children to school as a daycare or like just to watch my kids while I'm at work. And everybody is working so much to try to survive. Like, you can't blame them because it takes money to live and it takes time to make money. And if you have a broken home, like most homes in America, then it's a lot of struggle. It's a lot of struggle. It's a lot of time required. And so people often end up outsourcing their parenting to schools, to tablets, to just strangers. Like even when I used to drive Uber, and I remember when I first started, one day I picked up this little kid. It was a little girl, like 9 or 10 years old. And I was taking her to school and she was by herself. And I'm like, that's crazy to send your little daughter in a car with a strange man by herself to take her to school. Like, yeah, I know the app can track down who it is, but you only track down who it is after something bad happened. This is not to, maybe it'll prevent people from doing something crazy, but looking at the news, no, people still crazy. I just think I thought that was very interesting. I also picked up a family. It was the wife and the kids. The husband was out of town on business. When I went to pick them up, she handed him the phone and he talked on the phone. He was like, Devin, this is my family. I love my family. Like, I'm trusting them in your hands to like take care of them while I'm not there. I was supposed to be taking them to the airport. And like we had this little conversation because he was like, Uber was like a new thing. This was like 2014, 2015. This was a new thing, so I was taking them to the airport. I let them know I got them there safely, but it's just a totally new world. The education system has not caught up with the world outside. Like the education system, a classroom from 100 years ago, if you look at a classroom from 100 years ago and you look at a classroom today, they look practically the same. But the world outside of class has totally changed. Yet, we still do things the way they used to do it. Like the way we parent, the current generation parents their children the way their parents parented them. And those parents parent their children the way their parents parented them. But it's a whole new world. It's 2025. This is not your grandmother's internet. In fact, your grandmother didn't have internet. This is 2025. Things are totally different. And I talk to people. I think that this series of videos could be beneficial for the parents and the children. Because broken homes hurt the children the most. A lack of parenting abilities hurts the children the most. Then there's the curse of the firstborn. So like when you have your first child, you don't have no experience. Like you are experimenting on the first child. The first child is the guinea pig. And that's me. I'm the oldest child. My parents were old adolescents. Like the human brain isn't fully developed until the age of 25. My parents were 18 and 20. They were still in the adolescent phase. They wasn't even developed humans yet. And now they got a child. And I'm the first child. The curse of the firstborn. There was a lot of trial and error on me. A lot of experimenting on me. And I love my parents. I ain't got nothing against my parents. They was doing the best they can with what they had. And I turned out fine. And I thank God for that. But I've learned some things. I've seen some things. I'm 37 years old. I've acquired some knowledge over the years that I can pass down to the next generation and my current generation, my peers. So this next series of videos is about how to parent based on personality types, because everything is not for everybody. What works on one child may not work on another child. There is no one size fits all. Each child is different. Each child requires a different method of love, discipline, direction. You don't raise them all the same way. It's inefficient. It's inefficient to try to do the same thing the same way on every child because every child is different. For example, and that's another thing. This first video, this first series of videos, I'm starting from the ending We're going to begin at the end. A lot of times, if you're going to introduce a new concept, the first thing to do is vocabulary and nomenclature. But if we do that first, I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose a lot of people. When I start talking about any hero and FI critic, people are like, what are you talking about? So we're going to begin with the action steps. We're going to begin with the punchline. A lot of times comedians, they have all of this set up and then they give you the punchline at the end. I'm going to start with the punchline. And then as the series unfolds, you'll get the nomenclature, you'll get the vocabulary, and you'll be like, oh, that's what he was talking about. But if I start with that, I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose a lot of people, and you're not going to listen to the series. So we're going to begin at the end. How to use it. What are the action steps? That's what we're going to begin. We're going to begin with the action steps. Okay, so that's what this is. Now, what it is not. This is not me telling you how to be a parent. People say, oh, Dev, how you going to tell me how to be a parent when you ain't got no kids? You're right. I don't have no kids. But I do have something that you don't have. I got time. I got time and interest. I've been studying personality types since 2015. It's 2025. That's been about 10 years. Denzel, it was a movie with Denzel called Fallen. He was singing the song. He was like, time is on my side. Yeah, it is. I got time. I don't have no woman. I don't have no kids. I don't have to go to work in the morning. I got time to learn and study and teach what I learn. And I have a natural interest in the topic that I'm teaching. I've been studying this for like the last 10 years. I first got introduced to this in around 2015. It's 2025 now. I got time. There's a high probability that you don't have time because you're working. You might be going to school yourself. You got kids, you got other stuff to do. You don't have time to learn about personality types. And that's another thing. Personality types, this is also not horoscopes. Horoscopes are invalid. Horoscopes are based on external factors that don't have nothing to do with you. Listening to a horoscope, taking advice, making decisions based on a horoscope is like going to a restaurant. Imagine you go to a restaurant and the waiter asks you, when was your birthday? And you say February 15th. And they say, oh, you're an Aquarius. So since you're an Aquarius, then you should have the peanut butter soup. You should have crabs, whatever, string beans. But only because you was born on February 15th. But that don't account for the fact that you're allergic to peanuts and you're allergic to seafood. If you eat this stuff, it's a high probability you're going to die. Horoscopes is based on external factors that don't have nothing to do with you. Personality types is based on your preferences. Personality types is like going into a restaurant and the waiter asks you, what do you like? Do you like spicy or savory? You say, oh, I like spicy. If they say, okay, do you want some green leafy vegetables or do you want whatever carbs? So, and you tell them what are your preferences. And then they can recommend a dish based on your preferences. Personality types is all about preference. Horoscopes is about how the stars was aligned when you was born. That don't have nothing to do with you. But your preferences have something to do with you. If you say I'm an extroverted person and I like to be the life of the party, I like to dance and give people a good time, I like to put on the show, I like to make people laugh, that's your preference. You're an extroverted person. And extroverted people have certain strengths. And on the flip side, introverts have certain strengths. It's all based on preference. Horoscopes are invalid. This is not horoscopes. This is about self-awareness. This is about preferences. People say that I don't like personality types. I don't like labels. I feel like you're labeling me or put me in a box. You already got a label. If you're a mother, that's a label. If you're a daughter, that's a label. If you're a son, that's a label. If you're a teacher, if you're a driver, if you're whatever it is, these are just labels. These are just titles. It's not putting you in a box. In fact, I'm trying to get you out the box. Personality types are not putting you in a box. In fact, self-awareness and learning your personality type, learning your preferences are the keys to getting you out of a box. You already in the box. A lot of people are in the box of fear of what other people think, fear of what other people are going to say, fear of just going along with the crowd, doing what everybody else do, fear to speak up, fear to be different. You already in a box. You're in a box of confusion. You're in a box of procrastination. You're in a box of overthinking because you don't know yourself, because you're not self-aware. If you were self-aware, then you wouldn't be confused. You wouldn't lack motivation. You wouldn't care what other people think or what everybody else is doing because you know yourself. But because you don't know yourself, you're already in the box. I'm trying to give you the keys to get you out the box. So once you become self-aware, you can lead by example and you can help your children become self-aware, and you can raise your children based on their preferences, based on their personality types. And as they develop, you can strategically develop their mind, emotions, behaviors in order to get the outcome that you, because you're a parent, you love your, I would assume that you love your kids and you want what's best for them. So you'll be able to influence them in a strategic way to get the outcomes that you know that's best for them. Because they're a child, they don't know what's best for themselves. And maybe you don't know what's best for them. Maybe you think that you should raise your child the way that you was raised. But look at your outcomes. Are your outcomes optimal? Are you living your best life? Are you the best version of yourself now? Is there room for improvement? If you could go back, would you change anything? Now people say, oh, I don't live with regrets. If I could go back in time, I would let everything happen the same way it did because it made me who I am. I don't agree with that. If I could go back in time, I would change a lot of stuff. I'm 37 now. If I could go back in time, where I am now, I could have got here way sooner if I had better guidance. If I knew what I'm about to tell you in this series. People have an idea that parenting is about rules and chores and trying to protect your child from the world. But the world is going to reach your child anyway. The question is, are you going to reach them first? So why am I doing this? Jesus said to love your neighbor as you love yourself. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I just told you that had I known what I'm about to tell you now, my life would be way better, way faster. So me sharing this information is my action step. This is me putting it into practice. This is me practicing what I preach. This is me loving my neighbor as I love myself. This is me doing unto others as I would have them do unto me. The golden rule, treat people the way you want to be treated. I'm telling you what I wish somebody would have told me. That's why I'm doing it. I'm doing it to be a help. I'm doing it to be a benefit to the community, to the next generation coming up. Because once again, we got the internet now. The previous generations didn't have this. This is a totally new opportunity for, you know how to say it takes a village. Each one teach one. If I have information and I hoard it to myself and I don't share it with people, that's not treating my neighbor the way I want to be treated. Even in James, in the book of James, it talk about how if a man know what to do and he don't do it, to him it is sin. It's not a sin to have information and don't share it. But if you know that sharing this information could benefit somebody else, that doing this is a demonstration of loving your neighbor as you love yourself, if I know that and I don't do it, then to me it is sin. It's wrong for me to sit on this and not share it with you because it's been a benefit to me and it's been a benefit to my previous clients. So that's why I'm doing it. I'm doing it to love my neighbor the way I love myself. I'm doing it to treat people the way I want to be treated. We all know the story of Jonah and the whale, how the Lord was going to destroy the city of Nineveh, and Jonah didn't want to go tell Nineveh. He didn't want to go on the journey, and he ended up getting swallowed up by the fish. And then eventually he went and told Nineveh, and they prayed and fasted, and the Lord didn't destroy the city. They became self-aware of their errors because somebody came and told them. So now Nineveh became self-aware, and they took the proper action steps, and the city was saved. But a lot of people don't continue that story. After the book of Jonah is Micah and then Nahum. Nahum come back, that same city, Nineveh, that same city who was, the previous generation was self-aware, but that generation, they didn't tell the next generation. So the next generation followed the same mistakes. History repeat itself because the previous generation didn't tell the next generation. So that same Nineveh ended up being destroyed anyway. That's what I'm trying to prevent. I'm trying to be a help and prevent the next generation from repeating history, generational trauma, generational curses, negative cycles, somebody got to break the cycle. And that somebody could be you. You could be the one in your family who will break the cycle if you take this information that I'm about to give you and apply it. And this is free of charge. This video series is free of charge. It's free 99. If it's free, then it's for me. And it's for you too. Okay, so what are some benefits of this? When you learn how to raise your child, when you learn how to parent based on personality types, there's a high probability that you're going to raise a winner and not a whiner. A winner is a leader and a follower. A whiner is a follower only. A whiner will never step up and take the lead on anything, not even their own life. A whiner will follow the crowd and do what everybody else do. And if you look around, most people don't have a life of health, wealth, good relationships, and happiness. If you look around, if you follow the crowd, most people ain't living their best life. Most people are not the best version of themselves. But whiners are followers only. Whiners allow other people to dictate their life. Whiners let other people drive the car of their life and then be upset when they get driven to a place they don't want to be. But they never took the lead on their own life. They just do what everybody else do. They just go along to get along. But when you learn this, there's a high probability that you'll raise a winner, not a whiner. You can stop the generational trauma. You can parent with precision. Because like I said earlier, everything ain't for everybody. Beating some children, it don't work. It's better to take away their tablets and stuff. But for other children, it's better to beat them. It's better to, spare the rod, spoil the child. It's better to spank the child. But other types, spanking the child is a waste of time. For some children, you have to, just the threat of public shame is enough to get them in line. Because some types, they value their perception. They value how people see them. Like, so I've seen how people will, if the kid was acting up in school, they would cut their hair and like had this big bald spot and send them to school with this big bald spot. If there's certain children, if you do that, they will resent you forever. And you end up in a nursing home and they're not going to care. And this is because something that you did way back when. It's inefficient. But because you didn't know this, now you in a nursing home, now the kids, they never come visit you. They don't call you. And it's just a bad situation. Why? Because you didn't know this. And how would you know it if nobody tell you? Silence is as loud as screaming. The world is trying to parent your children. Will you let them, or will you step in and take the lead? The main problem is outsourcing parenting. So we have to take back parenting. I'm a big supporter of homeschooling. If you can do it, I know everybody can't do it. That's a whole nother conversation about entrepreneurship, not having to rely on a job to gain an income. Again, people used to say that, oh, get you a safe government job. We see government jobs ain't safe. It ain't no job that's safe. The only thing that's safe is solving problems, earning an income through solving problems. Because people are going to do what's in their own best interest. And if it's in their own best interest to pay you to solve their problem, then they will pay you to solve their problem. The quality of your life will be determined by the quality of problems you solve. If you solve small problems, you live a small life. If you solve bigger problems, you live a bigger life. If you help more people, if you solve more problems for more people, you'll live a bigger life. Relying on a job is too risky. People say that being an entrepreneur is risky. I think that relying on a job is too risky because the job control how much time you spend with your family. The job control if you go on a vacation. The job control if you're going to take off today because you got a doctor's appointment. A job. I used to work with this guy. His people was from Guyana, and his granddad was on his deathbed, and he went down there to visit him. And when he got back, the manager told him, you know what the manager told him? This is when I was working at Firestone. The manager told him that if your grandfather dies, you can't go to the funeral. We need you to stay here and work. You already took your vacation time to go see him on his deathbed. When he actually died, you can't go to the funeral. Like, man, that's crazy. How can you actually say that to somebody? I think working at a job is too risky. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. I'm a big supporter of homeschool if you can. I'm a big supporter of starting a business and solving the problems to earn your income so that you can homeschool and so you don't have to rely on strangers to raise your children. So yes, share this group, invite your friends to this group, parents, non-parents. If you're thinking about being a parent, if you're the child of a parent, especially if you're in high school and you're still trying to figure out what are you going to do with your life after graduation, you should be here. You should be a part of this conversation. Get engaged, be a part of the conversation. Don't just sit back and read the comments. Engage, ask questions. If somebody else asks a question and you know the answer, then give them the answer if you know the answer. I'll be in the comments and I'll be dropping videos throughout the coming weeks and months as we get through season 1. And then Lord willing, we'll get through season 2. And I'll be doing some workshops, some live workshops where you can have some live Q&A. I want this to be like a public square for conversation. This is not, I didn't make this group for me to just preach to you. I don't want this to be a monologue. I want it to be a dialogue, a conversation between parents, children, the business community. Everybody's invited. We need more conversation. Social media. There's a lot of media, but the social part is not as strong. So yeah, that's the introduction video. I'm looking forward to doing this series, and Lord willing, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.